Yo everybody, what's going on? How are you all doing? Welcome to the 7th episode. 7, oh my god, 7 already, Jesus Christ. Yeah, the 7th episode of the StreamDream Podcast. Today, most of you know this guy, obviously he's an awesome dude, awesome streamer. Envy him a little bit myself, he's so cool. But this guy's is RichieTwoTeas. Richie, how are you doing, my man?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm not too bad, yeah. I've sort of had a bit of a rush day. I streamed a little bit earlier myself and had like an hour to squeeze in some food, a drink, feeding my dog, saying hello to my kid. So yeah, it's been pretty manic, but yeah, I'm very good, thank you, buddy. How's your day been?
Awesome. Yeah, it's good. My girlfriend has been on furlough because of like COVID, but she's going back tomorrow. So I took the day off streaming to go and spend some time with her, which is really cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome of you, fair play.
And nice chill day. It was good.
Chilled out day. I think I need one of them myself, actually. I've been a bit mental all week, really. Right, okay, with Richie. So we're going to get straight into it, okay? We're going to get everyone to know who you are straight away, okay? So my first question for you, actually, is to tell us a bit about yourself. Maybe not too much about your streaming right now, but a little bit about Richie.
So I live in Nottingham. I used to manage restaurants and do exciting stuff like that. And then it killed me, so I stopped and went to do boring jobs. And then I hated that as well. I live with 4 cats, a wonderful girlfriend. I've got a friend of mine who rents her spare room.
Okay.
And at the moment, we're just trapped at home, just like a lot of people are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've lived all around the UK. I've been playing video games since about 1983, which is weird because I'm only 21. So, you know, obviously some kind of strange time thing going on.
I think so. You actually look about 20, I'd say like 25, 26. When I first saw you, I was like,
yeah.
I was looking at you in the camera, I was like, how old is this guy? I can't work it out. And then I was like, 20-ish, 25. So you're looking well, mate. What's the secret?
It's the lighting. That's what it is. It's, you know, like just really bright lights and turn that smoothness down on your camera to take out the wrinkles.
Well, guys, he's lying. He's lying to you because I got a light in front of me here and look at the state of me. So he's lying to you. It's some Richie secret formula, I think it is. Right, okay. So, Richie, how long have you been a streamer?
So, as RichieTwoTeas, I've been streaming since the start of 2018.
Okay.
However, I did stream right back at the very start of Twitch, not for very long, but under a completely different name, because I used to do speedrunning. Okay. And it was just a way to show off the runs I did. But then once I stopped speedrunning, I stopped streaming. But it's weird because back in those days, you could get loads of people watching you quite easily, but partnership was a hugely high number of people you needed, but nobody chatted. So chat was dead. It was really weird. So it wasn't like the social sort of thing it is now. If it was like it is now, I'd have probably wanted to have been streaming right from back then. But
from back then?
I didn't. I left it. Yeah.
So really then, saying that, you've always sort of had a passion for streaming then, I suppose?
Yeah. I enjoy doing cool things like with video games, or stupid things sort of with video games, and then sharing them with friends and then having friends share them back to me. I sort of came to Twitch from YouTube, where I did speedruns. We used to post speedruns, like the little speedrun community I was a part of. And we just used to share them for each other, showing tips where things went wrong. And that was really good fun. And then you go, oh, we'll add music to it. We'll add some silly subtitles for a bit, because we've got a bit of a meme. And that's really where it came from, that kind of content creation sort of bug, really. Yeah. And then that eventually led me to Twitch. Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's awesome to hear. Like, you know, obviously you're doing pretty well for yourself. I'm a regular viewer of yours. I jump in as often as I can when I'm not messed up with other dumb stuff, you know. So
I know what it's like. Yeah,
it is like, in an ideal world, I wish I could sort of split myself up into slices and then just give myself to each streamer like all in one go, you know. But obviously you can sort of tab people up and things, but I'd rather be in there involved, getting involved, you know, chatting away, watching, actively watching their streams. But unfortunately there's only like sort of we've only got one of us, haven't we? So we can't be everywhere. But
I know.
do try my best. Right. Okay then. So obviously you said you sort of restarted then in 2018. Are there any streamers who influenced you as RichieTwoTeas? Is there anyone you sort of try and mould yourself on, or you know?
I've always tried to be my own person. Really quickly. When I first started streaming properly, I never felt like I was me on stream originally. It's hard. You don't have viewers. I think that streaming's a skill. You develop it. You get better as time goes. But I always wanted to try and bring me to stream, the me that I knew I was. When I'm down the pub with my mates, or when we're like doing, we're all there playing games like couch co-op. That's what I wanted to be like. I mean, this is going to sound kind of a bit, I don't know, like probably not what people would expect. A streamer who was a big influence on me starting was actually Ninja. And It's not because I watched a lot of Ninja. I used to actually watch him right back when he was tiny, when he played Halo years and years ago. That's how I knew him. I just happened to be like when Fortnite had come out, and I was just looking for who's in. Oh, there's a guy that I follow from years ago, this Ninja bloke. I'll have a look. And he was talking about streaming, and he was talking about the attitude you should bring to it if you want to have a good stream. It wasn't about being successful. It's like, if you want to have a good stream, you should do things well. Go and watch a tutorial about how to set your webcam up. Go and watch a video about how to get good audio settings. And he was sort of saying, you don't need great stuff to get started and have a quality stream. So for me, I think that gave me the confidence to go and start doing this, the bits of research. I mean, when I started streaming, I had like a £5 webcam that, was the cheapest I could get, that I'd had for 5 years. And I was using a Rock Band mic,
No way.
My equipment was terrible, but it was terrible. And then I did everything I could, and it was decent.
Yeah.
I could do a good passable first stream. So that was sort of my jumping off point, really. That kind of inspiration from someone who at that time was skyrocketing, to sort of say, you can do it with what you've got.
Yeah.
And because I've been wanting to stream for a long time, but I suffered really badly from anxiety. I'd been really ill and I couldn't. And it was just, I want to. And eventually I got to the point, I have to. Yeah. Otherwise I never will.
That's awesome to hear, mate. Like, touching on what you said there a little bit, obviously you start off with maybe what you can afford or what you've got. So, like, I see a lot of people sort of diving head first into streaming. They spend like 90 quid on a camera. They'll go and buy like £100 mic, a couple of £1,000 worth of computer, and then they just sort of give it up. So you got to like sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? You got to sort of get a feeler out there first, I think, before sort of grow in, then, if you like, grow in equipment wise. So was that what you did? Obviously you said you started with the Rock Band mic. Things. That's insane. How did that work?
I had to get a couple of it was terrible, but I bought a boom arm, but then I didn't have a shock mount, so if I couldn't touch the microphone, and I was always catching it, and it sounds awful. The one sacrifice I had to make is I had to get a decent headset, because I wanted something that I could run the PC and like the console in. I could hear both, because I had a really old PC. It was not very powerful. It was an i3. It could barely do anything. The image quality wasn't that great, but so I couldn't play PC games, but I wanted to hear things like alerts and all of that kind of thing. So we sold our Xbox One to buy a headset and a couple of other bits and pieces like the boom arm just to get me going. And we had no money at the time at all. And it meant I couldn't play with any of my Xbox friends anymore, but it was the only way that I could really have just got those few little bits I needed, just even a couple of desk lights so I didn't look awful, and they were like £10 IKEA lights, so.
Well, you don't look awful, obviously, because you're 21, like you said, or you look 21.
Yeah.
But, no, I fully agree with you. You got, as an example, myself, I started off really cheap. I bought like a webcam for about 30 quid. A couple of lights which cost me about £20 all in. That's where you got to start, I think, unless you've got the stuff anyway from maybe a different job or anything like that, maybe just a PC gamer and you start streaming, obviously it's perfect. But when you haven't, you got to start off small, I think. But that's awesome, Richie. Right, okay. You just touched on equipment. Oh, actually, you touched on past equipment. What do you sort of use now?
So I've got a pretty, I don't know, pretty posh setup now. Most of the money that I get from streaming, I've put back into the stream, and that's very much anything that I do. I always say that's what my money generally goes to.
Yeah.
So I've got now. I started with one monitor, one small monitor, and I had an old LCD monitor that a friend gave me for free. Now I've got 3 monitors. I've got a Stream Deck XL and a normal Stream Deck. I've got a Go XLR. I use Elgato key lights. I've got 3 webcams that I use. My main cam's a Brio, and I use 2 C920s because I do different angles.
Yeah.
And I've actually got a DSLR now. And at some point, if you can ever buy like cam links again, I'll probably use that as a 4th camera somehow. But I like to play around with stuff. It's fun.
It gives your stream a sort of different dimension as well, doesn't it? You know, people can see you maybe from behind. You look at your setup. I watched a streamer once actually who had a cam sort of directly above him pointing down, so you could sort of see what he was doing with his hands, and he had it sort of small just up in the top of his screen, but it was big enough to see, and that was a pretty cool feature, to be fair. Like, he was showing people tutorials and what buttons to press and what to do. That was pretty cool.
Well, when I got my second webcam, the idea was originally I was going to do like a keyboard cam or a controller cam, but then I thought, I like it when I see people that do it, but then I don't notice it after like a stream or 2.
Yeah.
So I thought I can probably do something more fun. So we had the infamous rear cam where I would then get up and dance and shake my rear. Nobody needs to see that.
Well, I don't know. Some people would like to see it, mate, I think. I've seen a lot of people in your stream who would be pretty keen to see it. So maybe RichieTwoTeas OnlyFans.
I think so, yeah. Everyone keeps asking me. But
there you go.
A lot of stuff. But just like last thing on equipment, a lot of the money that I've spent, there's some stuff that is obviously very particularly for stream, things like the key lights and stuff like that. But really, the way I justify a lot of the expenses, that gaming is my hobby. Yeah. It's always been my hobby. It's been my hobby for so many years. And perhaps I couldn't have justified at the time buying a new PC for gaming, but because I streamed as well, we made a couple of sacrifices to do it. Whereas I maybe wouldn't have done it if I was only gaming, like for example, or I wouldn't have done it if, I wasn't, I didn't do it just for streaming because, so anyone that wants to spend a lot of money, I would say, you got to balance up everything, but now I'll buy a PS5 on day one, but I'm only going to do that on day one because I'm streaming. Otherwise, I'd probably wait a bit till it was a little bit cheaper. But
so it's like an investment then, really, isn't it? It's like you're putting the money in to sort of help your stream then, if you like.
Yeah, but it's sort of, it works for two. It's two birds with one stone, really, I suppose.
That's pretty much it, yeah. Right, okay, so viewers, if you have any questions you'd like to ask Richie at all, please, if you can, try and highlight them, because the chat's going off right now and it makes it a lot easier.
I've seen a couple go by.
Yeah, I've got them all lined up here, don't worry. It just makes it easier for me to sort of pick them out, okay? So, right, what we're going to do now is a thing I like to call Fast 5. So, 5 questions, preferably from you, pretty straight, snappy answers. I will need some description on some of them, but it's just something sort of off the cuff, okay? So, first one, would you prefer 50 follows or 5 subs?
Followers every time. Okay. Followers are growth, and that's meeting new people, and that's what I always want to do. Grow and meet someone amazing every single day. I'll take the followers without a moment thought.
That's fantastic, man. Right, okay, if you could have one celebrity follower who would sort of be in your stream all the time watching you, who would it be and why?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think about celebrities a lot. I did think a little bit. I'm going to say Keanu Reeves.
Right, okay.
Because everybody says he's such an awesome guy just to hang out with, and he's really, really nice. Okay. And I've kind of grown up along with a lot of my favourite films, from Bill and Ted all the way through like John Wick and stuff now. So that's my answer.
Awesome. So not Jimmy Havoc then, no?
No, I don't think so.
Nah, I don't think he'd have the time anyway, dude, to be fair. He's too busy on the road, I think. But, right, okay.
Yeah.
If you could only play one game for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
I want something that can be probably like a co-op game that I could play with mates if they came over or online, and I'd want a bit of probably something single player. So probably take something like a Halo game.
Okay.
It's not like I'm like the biggest Halo fan. I've loved the Halo games, but they just like so great for playing with people. You can co-op a campaign. You got your online multiplayer. So yeah, there's so many answers it could be, but if I wanted something that was a good all-round game, like for all situations, I think I'd probably have to take something like that.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it covers all bases, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah, PvP and co-op, and then you can turn friendly fire off and shoot your mates. When you're doing that campaign and make them cry.
I quite like shooting my friends anyway. I was actually playing Vigor today with Lonnie, and at one point, the start of the game, I sort of turned, looked, and I had a gun on her head. I thought, shall I pull the trigger? Then I thought, no, I better not. She just spent like actual money to get like some insurance things, so I thought, no, I won't do it this time. So, right, okay. What is the most viewers you've had at one time, and what was your reaction? So maybe a big raid, or?
I've had I'm not sure what exactly it would be. It would have been somewhere probably maybe up to 200.
Nice.
After a big raid. And I've had that a few times. It depends on who it is. Like when I get something like that, if I know the person that's raiding me, then I feel pretty chill.
Yeah.
Because it's a mate and they're bringing their mates, and if they're all mates, then we'll probably get on. When it's someone that I don't know, I feel like it's a big responsibility. So like, there's a partner that I don't know, I've never watched, they just randomly raided me, they're bringing in 100 extra people, and I'm terrified because I feel like, oh, you're trusting me with all these people, and this is also an opportunity for me to, to sell myself and look amazing. So that puts a lot of pressure on them. That makes me anxious. But that's it's exciting though. It's those moments, that adrenaline rush. That's one of the things that makes streaming really awesome.
It does, yeah. It's a thrill all the time. I'll sometimes sit there to 3 or 4 viewers, and then someone will drop a sub, and my heart's racing. I'm looking at my stream chat. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I get so I can't imagine how it is for you, man. I've seen your streams, and they go off sometimes. To be fair. All right, okay. Last of the fast 5 then is: have you had a griefer in your chat, and what did you do about it?
It depends. It sort of depends what they're doing. If it's just someone coming in and they're being a bit offensive, then they're just gone. Yeah. I quite like to play with the troll though, because I kind of try and take a view when you're like streaming that you're creating entertainment for people, and everything is there. You've got this whole smorgasbord of many delights, and they're all there, and they can all provide. So sometimes, like someone's coming in and they're dropping you a bit of grief, and I'm like, oh, what was that? Or, and I'm trying to bait them out a bit.
Yeah.
And then, it depends how it goes. And sometimes, especially like kids, like when they're a bit younger, like they come from maybe somewhere where it's a bit toxic and everyone's just being a bit of a bit of an idiot, a bit of a twat. And then like, all you do is you show them, you don't have to behave like that. You don't have to try and sort of grandstand it. And then they actually just start acting normally. So it depends on the person. Maybe they're gone, maybe I'll play with them. But hopefully we can bring them round, and they'll turn out to be pretty cool.
Steer the ship the right way, I think, is the term, isn't it? So, Richie, fantastic. You're doing great on the fast 5. You were pretty snappy with them, so well done on that. What we're going to do now is questions from viewers. So remember, guys, if you have a question, just try and highlight it. Makes my life a little bit easier, and the podcast will flow a little bit better as well. Okay. So the first, I'm sure, of many from Lonnie Bluebird. What consoles did you first game on?
So my first console would probably have been like the NES or maybe a Master System. I'm not entirely sure when I was first playing. The first gaming system that I was playing on, though properly, was a Spectrum 48K. So a computer rather than a console, but That was my jumping off point. Went down my mate's house. Look what I've got: rubber keys, tape decks to be loading up the games.
Yeah.
And then 2-3 years later, then like the consoles started to become available, and we started picking those up.
A little bit easier to handle as well, I think, when they consoles. Just sort of put them in, chuck a game in, and go. Pretty much. A lot easier.
I like the ease, and I like the controllers. What I liked about computers, going through like Spectrum to like Commodore and Atari, and then to PC, was the fact that games were a lot cheaper. So you could go and buy a game for £5, and then a console game on like the NES was like 50 quid.
Yeah.
So I remember having about 2 games on like the NES, and then about 200 games. Obviously, you could tapes. You could just record them as well, trade them with your mates. So
they've sort of caught up with that, haven't they? There's none of that anymore. Right, okay. Another one from Lonnie again. Is Techno Mouse based on anyone you met when out raving?
So the idea for Techno Mouse comes totally from the first season of Mighty Boosh, when they're working in the zoo and they're just having a chat and they're going around and feeding all the rabbits, and there's Techno Mouse in it, and they got this techno hutch. But yeah, when I was like at college, so we all got to 17 and we all learned to drive, and we used to go down like all the raves, sort of London and Kent and everywhere in Essex on a Friday night, and there was a group of us. We all worked at the college. We worked cleaning in the evenings, and we'd be waiting for a phone call to the caretaker's office, because he used to go down as well. We'd find out where we were, and we'd hop in the car. And even then, there were people that seemed to be like in their 40s. They were probably like, in their mid to late 20s, I guess. I don't know. And they were just wrecked. They were off their tits the whole time, and they were living on another planet. And you'd probably go outside for a smoke and and chill out, when you were like overheating a bit, and then they were just coming up to you and chatting you, and you were like, how are you even standing? and that's that sort of inspiration. And a couple of times there'll be like someone be, oh, can I get a lift home with you? Because they, it turns out they live close, and we give them a lift home in the car. And then the next day we'd all be completely sober and fine, and they would still be exactly the same. And we realized that they weren't drunk, they weren't on anything. That's just the way they are. So that's where Techno Mouse comes from. It's those people we used to meet that we thought were really old down all those raves, sort of in the mid-90s. Yeah, about 95, 96, that'd be, I guess.
Do you still attend raves?
I haven't for a long time. I can't do the dancing on my knees anymore, to be fair. But I like raves because, at the time, like with the government and everything, they were so anti. And as a kid, it was great rebellion.
Yes.
Music wise, I still love that music, but I'm more of an alternative guy. So probably not so much the last couple of years, but I have still been going to like rock nights and stuff. I live in Nottingham. We've got Rock City. I was still, at least was semi-regularly going to stuff down there until this year.
I think you got to enjoy music. I mean, it's one of the it can bring you up or it can bring you down, sort of thing. I think music is one of the big elements in life that everyone should be involved in personally. But there we go. Right, okay.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Sven is asking, who is your best mod and why is it Sven?
I don't know. Sven's a monster. He's out of control. I think the power's gone to his head. If I had to say, it would probably be Port Coffee, because he's my newest mod and he's totally uncorrupted yet. So the power has yet to go to his head. Then it'll go to his head, and I'll have to probably make a new mod that's impressionable. I can try and mold after my own image and then fail again.
No, fair enough. Right, okay, so Lonnie once again has said, what are thongs? I think she means things. What are things you don't like about some streams you've watched? Pet peeves.
Thongs, mate. Yeah, they're like you wear them on your feet when you're down the beach, right? What I don't like about some streams. I don't like chats that are a bit toxic, and like the streamers don't do anything to try and put a curb on it.
Yeah.
So they're very clicky, and they've got a bit of a toxic subculture, and they kind of inflict that on you straight away if you're trying to get to know people. and it tends to you tend to come from the streamer as well.
Yeah.
But pet peeves. I don't know. I mean, there's some of the stuff that I find annoying, like if you're just gaming and there's like, you're playing a game of, I don't know, whatever, let's say Call of Duty, and because this is the one everyone will know, and there's someone there and they're using the Connect microphone and they've got 3 kids in the room and someone's yelling at them from the kitchen and there's a TV on as well. So it's all that kind of like that just terrible background noise audio. That's probably my pet peeve, because I like to, when I watch a stream, I like to chat to the people that are in chat and I like to chat to the streamer. Yeah. And I don't want distractions really. So I suppose I like streamers that pay a lot of attention to chat and you can have a good conversation. So on the flip side of that,
I completely agree. But Joe, touching on the Connect microphone thing, I've played a lot of FIFA Pro Clubs. Do you know when you go into parties when people use them as their headset? Okay, it's the worst thing in the world. It is the actual worst thing in the world. I think it's I just can't cope with it. So you're in there and you can hear dogs, you can hear the neighbours out the back screaming, you can hear people shagging next door. It's not on.
Used to have someone in like our game group we used to play with, and they use their Connect microphone, and every time they I'm off, I just need to go for a bathroom break, and you could just hear them having a wee in the bathroom. And it was the worst thing ever. Oh my god, headphones off, everybody.
Yeah, I hate it so much. Like, it's like, I get, okay, maybe some people can't afford things or whatever, but you can get a semi-decent headset these days for about 25-30 quid, which will last you a while. Just go and get one. Don't use your Connect thing. If you can afford a Connect, you can afford a headset. Top tip from Richie there: don't use your Connect as a microphone. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Also, thank you to some of the guys for following as well. I haven't given them a shout out yet, but thank you very much. Lonnie, once again, what were your best and worst streams and why? Let's add so far on the end of that as well.
There's been so many amazing streams, and a good stream, like it's just nothing like it, and you come out and it can be anything. It can just be that like you've really enjoyed the game and you've had a really great atmosphere chatting about it and everyone's invested in it. It can be something really bad happening, like you're just having a terrible day, like, because I play a lot of Souls games on stream.
Yeah.
I can be doing a challenge run stuck on a boss for a whole stream.
Yeah.
And then it's going terribly. I can't beat them. I'm just getting worse and worse. But everyone's invested and they're taking the mickey, and that can be amazing. Generally what I'd just consider a good stream is busy chat. We've had a few laughs and I've met some cool new people.
Yeah.
I would say my best stream, and there's been a few, but and this is still really recent. I did a 24-hour stream to celebrate 2,000 followers about a month ago, and that was just amazing because it was such a big event and everyone was there just to celebrate and everyone just wanted to have a good time, and you had a party atmosphere in chat, and I had my girlfriend was here a bit, and housemate Andy. We played a lot of different games. I dressed up in stupid stuff, and it just felt like a cabaret, like a carnival of fun. And there was no pressure. It was just, there was pressure to do 24 hours, but I knew I could do 24 hours.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know what state I'd be in after. So that was my best stream. Worst streams, I couldn't tell you a worst stream, but the worst streams are when there's technical issues.
Yeah.
For me, if something's not working right. So the stream was okay, but 2 days ago, I started streaming and and everything was fine. But then as soon as I went live, I had no sound on my headset and no sound was going to stream. So I rebooted and then I started the stream again, and then OBS crashed on my countdown.
Oh, no way.
So I rebooted again. I started OBS and my webcam wasn't working. Just randomly, I had no problems for ages. And then I had 3 technical issues before it even started. And then that puts you in a bit of a bad mood. But it's technical problems in the stream, like your capture cards stops picking up if I'm playing on console, it stops picking up the console audio, and the only way to fix it is to like stop the stream, reboot OBS, and get it going again.
Yeah.
Things like that, you know, or just your microphone volume's really off and you can't fix it. Of course, that'll probably be because there's been a Windows update that's you did the day before and you forgot about, and it's nuked all your audio settings. But yeah, it's those sort of technical issues. I want everything to work without a hitch, and when it doesn't, I feel like it's on me. And I know people go, oh, it's fine, you know, whatever. And sometimes it can be a laugh. But yeah, when there's a lot of technical issues, it makes me feel awful, you know. And if you're not happy as a streamer, you don't have a good stream, you know.
Yes,
you don't entertain, you know. If you're grumpy, everyone knows you're grumpy, and it affects the mood of the stream. So
it's one of them feelings it's quite hard to hide, I suppose, isn't it? Miserable or grumpy or just in a major bad mood or whatever. But yeah, when you're saying about technical issues, right? It's one, especially audio. It's one of them things. You're in the middle of a stream, you got your people coming in chatting away. It's difficult to sort of rectify at that moment as well, you know, without sort of, you know, letting viewers see all your OBS stuff and you clicking buttons and doing this, that. It's one of them really things you don't really want to do, but sometimes you have to. So I don't know if you're the same as me, but I try and just whack on a beer back screen and work on it behind the screen sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it even when I'm like, I'm going to quickly maybe look something up because I've got my camera over here on this monitor and the game's in the middle and I've got everything else is on sort of the other side. So if I want to quickly look something up on the internet, like, or Google that. I hate that I'm, you know, almost concentrating my because I've got to give that my full attention for like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I hate that I'm giving that my attention. That bothers me, let alone anything else. So it ramps up pretty quick to everything else.
Yeah, it does. It certainly does. Right, okay, we got another question here from Wiry Lloydie 199. He's my buddy. He said, would you stream a game that you don't like but has got a really good follower base and maybe a game that's sort of popping the viewers right in?
I mean, I wouldn't stream a game just because I thought it was gonna, you know, I thought I'd get a lot of views, because I probably, you know, if I don't enjoy a game, I won't have a good time.
Exactly. And
then if I don't have a good time, then I'll have a bad stream. And if I have a bad stream, it doesn't matter how many people might tune in, they're all going to tune out again. I'm certainly open to playing a lot of different games.
Yeah.
You know, like I mainly play Soulspawn games, but I'm not averse to doing anything, you know, really. I mean, I don't expect to be on Fortnite or PUBG or something, because that's, you know, they're the sort, I don't think they suit my style and my stream.
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't stream a game I don't like, but there's not many games that I don't like either, you know. So if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfectly good sense, actually. You get a lot of people who sort of call themselves variety streamers, then, if you like.
Yeah.
From watching your
game
streams...
that's
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. What I would say is a game that's like really complicated and I didn't know at all. So, you know, something like an MMO where there's so many different systems and bits of gear and activities to do. I might enjoy that game, but I wouldn't enjoy streaming it, because I would not blind, because I'd have so much to do. I wouldn't feel like I could take it all in and like entertain, chat to people, you know. I feel that would be the sort of thing I would have to go away, learn the game, and then I would stream it.
I was just going to say, now, do you think you have to be quite clued up on a game to stream it? I think you do, to a degree. Like, some people like watching you sort of first play and getting involved and learning it together.
Yeah.
But I personally would rather get to know a game a little bit before I sort of stream it, you know, just to know the buttons, so I don't look like a complete bell end, like, you know. But it's got to be done, I think. You've got to learn the game a touch.
I mean, something like that's take something like Neo or Neo 2. You know, Neo 2 was out quite recently. So I mean, what I did like playing that is even though I played Neo 1, I went in pretty blind to Neo 2. There was new systems. I had played a bit of the alpha, but I hadn't really explored a lot of new stuff. And I did like a couple of streams on that, just learning what was there, trying to get a handle of it, and then I went away. So I'd kind of done my blind like what the hell's going on, why aren't I doing very well. Then I went and found out a bit more. Oh, I'm not using that right, I'm not quite doing this. And then I took a bit of that knowledge back, so I wasn't just shouting at the game and not using anything. And then I could like show everyone, oh, this is how the system works.
Yeah.
It's not like I was there every day on Reddit like learning everything, but just to like point me the right way. So that's how I sort of approached that game. I don't know what I'd have done something like that. It's been so long since I've probably played a game like that completely off stream.
Yeah.
Because I do play some games off stream, so I don't know how I'd handle something like that now. Something like when I did my Dark Souls and Bloodborne playthroughs originally, like way back in the day, which is before I started streaming. I went and played blind for a bit, and then I chatted to some friends who completed the game or who were good at them, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this is what you want to do. Like, you need to be getting a weapon, and you know, getting that as upgraded as the best you can, and that's the main thing you probably want to concentrate, But I do like to find my way blind, but I don't like to struggle on stream.
No, yeah,
as well,
that's the thing. Like if you
I mean, there's good struggle and there's bad struggle. Bad struggle is where you're trying to understand what a stat does and you've got no idea, and it's good struggle is like, I can't beat this boss, I don't get it. I wouldn't go away and look at a video of how to beat a boss.
No.
But I would go away and read a guide about a way weapon upgrading works.
Yeah, but touching on what you said about maybe asking your buddies for a little bit of help. If I was to ever play Souls, I'd come to you. I'd be in touch with you. I'd be in your inbox day in day out. What you do, what's this, what's that. So hopefully, for your sake, I don't start playing that game because your phone won't stop. So. But yeah, hopefully. So.
Well, I wouldn't mind.
No, I know you wouldn't. You're too nice a guy to care for that sort of thing and to mind about that stuff. But right, okay.
Generally, like something like that, the questions are all at the start, and then you get the hang of it, and then you're away.
Yeah.
Well, when I say you're away, you're still stuck on a boss for like 3 days, but
I hate bosses. I absolutely hate bosses most of the time. Right, okay. It doesn't seem like we have any more questions. If we do, guys, don't forget to highlight them. I'll get them read out for you and asked. So what we're going to do now is move on to what I've got written down here. Okay, so obviously your stream's fantastic. If you didn't change it in any way, I don't think it would matter too much, because like what you're doing is a show sort of thing, if you like. Obviously you're being yourself, but people come to watch the whole package. But is there any future plans for your stream?
So just when I'm streaming or even just sat around, I'm always having like completely weird and crazy ideas for stuff that could be a laugh to do, and that's where a lot of my ideas come from. So I'm always still having ideas and I want to do them. What I found I was doing is I'm never get anything done, so I basically cooked up this idea of seasons, and I'm currently on Richie season 3, and all the season is, here's like a whole load of stuff I vaguely worked on. I might have done a bit of prototype, I might have made a video, I might have downloaded some effects.
There we go, guys. So sorry about that. We are back. We didn't go anywhere. I blame Richie because he mentioned technical issues. But hopefully we're all golden now when we're back with you. So it seems a little bit laggy actually. I don't know what's going on tonight. Am I clear enough?
What was the... Yeah, you fine for me here right. on Discord.
I think OBS is having issues. So where were we?
I think there was a question, but I can't remember what it was.
Yes, guys, if you've asked any questions, I've had to close everything down, so if you can get them re-asked, that would be fantastic. So what we're going to do is back to what we were on about future plans for your stream. You sort of touched on...
Oh, future plans, yeah. So I have the idea where I have like all these ideas and I get them half done, but then I never quite push stuff out. So I have the idea, I have a season, so I'll say, right, in 3 weeks time it'll be season 2, it'll be the start of season 3, and then I basically list out the things I want done ready for then, and then I'll work on them. So the last season I had a new like Be Right Back, and my Be Right Back I do like sort of parody, I do like the parody sort of trailers, the sort of shows. That's so awesome. I did like a game, I've got a Game of Thrones, but it's Game of Teas. I did You know, in the last one, which was this one, which instead of Tiger King, it's the Tiger King. I had a new character, which is like a stupid robot that plays games. A couple of new little segments. So like some of which is channel point stuff and some isn't. So I've got I'm doing like a guide to British swearing and slang.
Okay.
And I try and choose a word or a phrase or something every day and explain it to everyone from outside the UK. And the amount of things that you think that everyone uses, and they've got no idea what you're talking about when you say that word, you know.
Yeah.
And just all of these sort of things, because I do try to do a show. I mean, it's very much like, you know, 99% games, but then I like to do the extra stuff and the fun stuff.
And that's the sort of stuff people enjoy as well, don't they? You know, that's sort of why people keep coming back. Maybe I think they enjoy not just for the your characters that you do and things, but it's the whole package. I think, and they sort of help. They're like a brick in the building of that wall, so if you like.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been creative and I've always been weird. And this is an opportunity for me to be creative and weird and get it out there and people to look at it. I don't care if it's only one person. I've shared it and that's really satisfying. And I'm really proud of the things that I do.
Yeah.
I mean, some people that make things, they can't look back at what they've done. There's musicians, they go, I never listened to my own music. When I was in a band and we recorded a song, I would listen to it non-stop because I was proud of what I'd done.
Yeah.
I'm not like thinking, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm not like, I'm not the, you know, the second coming of Hendrix, or whatever, you know. But yeah, so it's very satisfying for me to do it. And now that Tattie's going back to work, now she's off furlough, and that'll give me more time in the mornings because she'll get up early and then I get up and have a long time before I stream. I'll probably start to plan out my season 4, and I've got a theme for it, and I've got an idea of the sort of things I'd like to work on. Some things will work and some won't. I like challenging what's possible on a stream in OBS.
Okay.
I like people to look at my stream who are streamers and go, how did you do that? You know, how have you done that with your webcam? Why is that moving around, or what are you doing? So I like to do those sort of things as well, you know, because they're hard to do.
Yeah, as I was just going to say, actually, at the same time, that is maybe, to some people watching, that would be like, so I want to be like this guy. I want to have that on my stream. I want to do something similar to that on mine. So, you know, fair play to you for doing these things, because you're just helping to grow the whole community, not just yourself, I think, by doing that.
I mean, sometimes I'll watch someone who's like right at the top of their game, and for like creative stuff and really challenging what you can do with things like OBS. One of the people I really enjoy is the Sushi Dragon, who I don't know if you've ever seen.
I haven't myself.
But has like a full PC setup, does lots of sort of dancing and things, and basically got a basement that's a giant green room, and just the stuff that he does. And he just uses a few plugins in OBS.
Yeah.
And 4 PCs because he needs to power a lot of webcams and stuff. And he has like these, you know, like you can get they're almost like the number pads, like sort of that you can put on your hands, like the number pads of a keyboard. He just uses those as hotkeys. So he's just almost playing them like an instrument while he's doing it, and that's running him in through all of his scenes. And I look at something that he does, and I don't want to do his stream, but I go, how did you do that? That's not possible. And then I go, well, it must be possible. And I like to go away and find out. And then maybe I go, do you know what? I could die and then my webcam can bounce all over the screen. That would be pretty cool. I mean, awesome. That's not something I'll do, but, you know, it might be fun, you know. So some of the ideas I have are like Techno Mouse. I watch the Mighty Boosh and go, yeah, let's take this too far. And another idea might be, I've found something that's cool to do technically, and then I've been mucking around a lot with After Effects.
Okay,
which if you don't know, it's an Adobe program, and it's used a lot to doing special effects and like movie work, and, you know, explosions and crazy stuff, and your head falls off. And I'm like, how can I do stuff like that using After Effects and then try and bring some of that stuff into stream? You know, so there's some really fun stuff there that 99% of which will go in the bin and be unfeasible, or just not be that good. But like, then hopefully I'll get a 1% of something good. But yeah, I'm going to start working on new stuff. I've got about 3 new Be Right Back sort of trailers I want to work on. One's way too ambitious and I might never be able to do. But yeah, I'll start storyboarding stuff for that. And I mean, the Tiger King took 100 hours
Tiger King, just going
to do from start to finish. That's a 2-minute parody trailer, and that was 100 hours. So the time investment is huge, but it's satisfying. I wouldn't do anything to that probably level again. It was too much.
But it's you know, it's sort of, it's yours, you know. So people, if they see that, so say, I don't know, say someone was to clip it and put it on TikTok, Snapchat, people would be like, oh, I know that guy, that's Richie. You know, that's your sort of brand, then, if you like, which is awesome.
Yeah.
A little idea I got from you,
exactly.
actually. Every time I've seen you play, all I've seen you play is Souls. I don't know if you play COD or anything on stream, or any actual like head shooter sort of games, or
generally what I do for, like, I always try to aim for maybe 75% of what I do is Souls and 25% is just variety. Yeah. And usually that's new releases. So I haven't played The Last of Us 2 yet.
Right.
I'm waiting for the right moment, but that'll be soon. And then I'll do Ghost of Tsushima. I played Man-Eater a few weeks ago.
Awesome game.
I haven't really, like, in terms of like shooters, other than like something that may be single player, I haven't really done a lot. I mean, I have done some stuff like Borderlands before. I mean, when I started streaming, I like shooters. I thought I was going to stream shooters.
Yeah.
When I was getting ready to stream in the first place, Destiny 2 had just released. I was a big Destiny 1 fan. We had a big raid clan. We were really good.
Yeah.
You know, and we thought we'd carry that through. So that was a plan when I was starting to think about it. I was playing a lot of Division. I was going to play Division on stream. I was probably going to do Warframe because I'd used to play Warframe. I hadn't for a long time. But I went and played Souls because I liked the games, but the community was so good on Twitch that I stayed for the community, and I liked the games. But I would play other stuff, but I tend to like playing something like a Call of Duty. Like, if I've been playing a bit of Warzone lately. Yeah. If I was going to play that, I'd want to play it with other people probably for like the banter. But then I struggle with streams when it's not just me. So I wouldn't want to play Warzone by myself, but I'd want to, you've got to have people you trust as well.
You have. If
they're on stream with you and they're talking. So, and I think as time goes on, I don't necessarily, because I don't see myself as a Soulsborne streamer, even though that's what I do a lot of the time, because that's almost like the backdrop for the actual stream, which is me and the viewers.
Yeah, of course.
And then, I like to think that the game doesn't matter, but it's a game that suits us all really well because we all like it and it's got a good community. I think over time, I would probably play less Souls.
I speak to a lot of people, right, who say that when they watch streamers, a lot of the time they're not actually watching the game. They're there just to have a chat with them and to support them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's something that sort of comes into your mind often at all, but obviously you're to the
streaming's
game,
obviously,
that's something.
Yeah, I mean, what I say, streaming's always a learning process.
It is.
Like you're always exploring all the time, and some things you think work and some things don't work. And people say, we'll watch you whatever you play. Now that's not always strictly true, and I don't mean because yes, there's people that are watching me because I'm playing Souls and they don't want to watch something else. That's fair. That's not, but the other people. But sometimes you play a game and it's not a good fit for you.
Yes.
For whatever reason it is, So I'll give you an example. I tried to play Outer Worlds on stream, and it just did not work. And I tried to play Control a little bit before that, and that did not work. There's something about like the pacing of those games and the way they're put together that doesn't suit me when I'm entertaining. So I'm still there and I'm me, but I'm not me at my best.
Yeah.
And so people, they get distracted by the things. They don't chat as much, Whereas when I played like Resident Evil, everyone, the way that there's the action, things just going wrong all the time. I get distracted and then I get killed. Yeah. That made for like amazing stream, even though it's not my usual sort of game. And that Man-Eater was a game. If you don't know Man-Eater, it was out a couple of months ago. You basically play a man-eating shark, and it's a bit of a silly game. It's got quite an open world feel to it. It's like Grand Theft Auto underwater.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's sort of the way people talked about it. That worked really well. I wouldn't but it was always something happening, and it was a bit silly.
I love the
so I don't
was it landmarks they called them, where there was a Pennywise one.
Oh yes,
Insane.
yeah, and they were all Easter eggs and pop culture references and stuff.
I love that stuff. I'm huge into that sort of thing. So seeing that, it's such a great game. I love that game. I'm quite upset that there's no maybe online multiplayer sort of thing, because I think that would be insane as well. Like a big like that would GTA
be fantastic.
Online, but with a shark. That'd be fucking insane. I'd love that. But hopefully
they'd make a battle royale these days, wouldn't they?
I think that would be pretty good, to be fair. So,
to be honest, yeah.
I think that would be very good. Right, okay, so on to the next question. Right, obviously, you're doing everything pretty well, but is there something you wish Twitch would introduce that would help you?
So I think this would be good for me as a streamer, and this is something that I'm desperate for as a viewer. I want chat to be a proper chat log. Okay. So when you come into stream, or when you start stream, all of your chat is there, and you can scroll back through it. So if you someone came into the stream now, like your stream right now, they could scroll all the way back through chat, even though they've not been here at the start, and they could see everything. Yeah. So like, if you're especially like on mobile, you want to nip away and look at something, you're not going to miss anything when you come back, or the stream's just crashed and you've missed something. You can load back in and it's all there. You join in on what are people talking about, you can scroll back and see it, because Mixer did it. Yeah. And if you go to, and it's there, because if you go to like the mod mode, you can look at someone's history and you can see all of the chat they've ever made in that stream. They save that information, put that there, have all of the chat for that stream, and it's always there. That I would love that.
I completely agree, because not so much as a streamer, but as a viewer, like sometimes maybe I'll come in your chat and you're talking about something and your viewers are responding, and then I'm like, oh, I wonder what he's talking about. It sounds pretty cool. But then I'm like, I can't just go and have a look. So sometimes maybe I'll have to say, oh, why, and if I was to say, oh, what are you talking about? You might take that as, what the hell are you talking about? And I don't like putting that in a chat, what are you talking about, because it comes across as two different ways. So I wish that was there too, because as I watch, like I said, I try and watch as many streams as I can. I don't watch TV anymore, I watch streams. But I wish that was not a feature as well, But on the flip side... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Because I'm sat in bed and I'm watching, it's late at night, I'm watching on my mobile, and then I'm getting a message on Discord, or I want to reply to a tweet, and I've got to leave the stream and I lose the chat, and that annoys me. Yeah, it's very because I don't want to miss anything. If you're having a conversation, or someone might say something to you, Yeah, and I don't like to look like like that I'm not listening, or...
Yeah, of course. I'm in full agreement with you. I Twitch, just if you're watching, anyone from Twitch, just fucking bring it in. We need it. Everyone needs it. Streamers need it. Viewers need it more, I'd think, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, we need that.
Yeah.
So on the flip side of that then, what is something that you don't like about Twitch/streaming?
Something I don't like about Twitch, and it's not something that's affected me, is that like the customer support, the tech support is really, really bad. Yeah. Or really, really slow. I know a lot of people that had a lot of issues, like maybe their accounts, and they just get stonewalled, or they don't have replies, or it takes a long time, and that's partners as well as, even though they're supposed to have contacts. And it would bother me less. I mean, it's not like I spent a lot of time on Mixer. When I started streaming, I tried a bit of Mixer, a bit of YouTube, a bit of Facebook, just because I wanted to see what the other platforms were like. And people that were having problems on Mixer, they were getting replies and problems sorted almost immediately. It was almost like they could connect to a live chat and get the problem solved. And I understand that Twitch is huge and there's a lot more viewers and there's costs to everything, but I feel like it could be a lot better. Streaming, what I don't like about streaming is you're always trying to grow. There's never a time you're not probably really trying to grow as a streamer. Yeah. I mean, there are some people that just want to play and they just have a couple of mates, and they don't really care about growth. But on the whole, everyone wants to grow. What I don't like is that you feel that you can't have time off from streaming. Yeah. I stream full time. If I was to take 2 weeks holiday, and the Costa del Sol,
Yeah.
I would be really worried about how that's going to affect everything. How many people are just going to go and not come back
Yeah.
afterwards. Those people that raid me, are they going to go and raid someone else and find a new favorite streamer? Are people all going to stop subbing to me? And I mean, I'm not streaming for the money, but I do stream full time, and it is my income.
Yeah.
So I've got to be, worried about that. And you see a lot of big streamers talk about it. It's different for big streamers, because someone like a Dr. Lupo, someone big like that, they have a lot. The bigger the stream, the younger the viewer base tends to be, and then the higher proportion tends to be prime. And then you go away for 2 weeks as a big streamer like that, and that 50% of people that sub to you with prime, they'll go and give it to somebody else for that month. So it's huge impact for them. I mean, someone that size probably not doing bad money, but but whatever you do, like you always worry, if I take a day off, what would have happened today? Maybe today I'd have got a really cool raid from somebody new, and that would have been, I'd have made a really good new friend who was the streamer, and maybe there'd have been some cool new people that would have found me and we'd have become friends. If I hadn't streamed one day, who wouldn't I have met that I'm really good friends with now? I've met quite a lot of people from stream in real life now. I can't imagine that I wouldn't have met some of those people. So that's what I find I don't like about streaming. When if I don't do something that's on schedule, I feel like it bothers me, because I wonder, like today I took the day off, what would happen today? I don't feel like I can go away for 2 weeks without hurting, the work that I put into it.
Yeah, of course. Are you a partner?
No, I'm nowhere near. No? So I'm currently last sort of about best part of 2 months, my average is about 50, and partnership average is 75. I think that's a bit skewed, a bit heavily on the high side right now, and you never know, like I might hit really good sort of momentum still. I feel like that's probably going to drop off a bit, but I'm slowly always inching up, but it's slow.
Like in an ideal world, you sort of want the line to sort of just fly up that way, don't you? But realistically, for pretty much everyone, or everyone who's starting out, or maybe 2 or 3 years into it, it's just going to be a sort of gradual climb. But every time I come into your streams, I always see, well, in the last week I've jumped in maybe 3 or 4 times, and I've seen, every time I've come in, there's been about 85 viewers in there. So obviously it's looking promising, it's going the right way, isn't it? I think, but that number.
Really, I would do better if I streamed later. Yeah. So I usually, because I sort of do 12 till 5 in UK time, so I'm starting like for the East Coast of America, which is the closest bit. That's 7 a.m.
Yeah, of course.
And 50% of my viewers are in the US. So what I find is the first 2 hours tend to be quite slow, and that really pulls that average down. But it's a little bit late that time as well, because for picking up some of the other bit of the world where it's getting a bit later. So it's not an ideal time, but it's the time that suits best for my life.
Yeah, of course.
My girlfriend gets home from work, and then I finish at 5, so we can have the evening together, so we can have quality time.
Yeah, that's pretty fair enough. So obviously she lives with you as well then, yeah? Okay, right. Okay.
Sorry?
I said she girlfriend lives with you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we've been living together for about 10 years now. So
that's fine.
Long old time.
Right, so we do have 2 more questions in my chat actually. One is from Sven. He said, what is your number 1 piece of advice to a new streamer? So it's probably 2 sort of things. First is have fun. Yep. That enjoy yourself. If you ever find yourself that you're not enjoying what you're doing for streaming, whether that's like a one-off stream with a game or just streaming in general, then stop or change things. Streaming should be fun. If it's not fun, you're not going to put on a good stream. The other thing is, I would say, is think about, to someone who's like, oh, I'm going to start a stream, I'm getting myself. I'm like, I would probably say, why do you want to stream? Yeah. And certainly people that are a bit younger, there's a lot of, I want to try and make it. I'd like to try and be a big streamer, and they're seeing someone like Ninja or,
someone like that that's really big, and they like, oh, I really love to do this for a job or a career, and that's fine. But if that's the only reason you're doing it, you're going to be disappointed.
Yes.
There's in the lifetime of Twitch, I think there's something like 38,000 people have been partnered. Every single month, there's something like, at the moment, something like 4 to 4.5 million unique streamers.
Yeah.
And out of that 38,000 partners, a lot of those aren't even streaming anymore, or it's just occasionally as a hobby. So, you have to be realistic about what you can achieve. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't try and achieve it, but if that's the reason you're doing it, then you're probably setting yourself up for disappointment. So I would say, for me, my goal for streaming, the reason I wanted to stream is I used to have lots of great gaming buddies that I met over the years. And the way that games sort of changed over time is you don't meet someone like you used to, like in a lobby of Call of Duty or whatever. It's people aren't talking, they're idiots. It's a lot different. You don't have the forums like you used to anymore.
They're all shutting down.
So I wanted to stream to meet new people. I wanted to make new friends that be gaming friends I could play games with for a long time, and that is still my reason for streaming every day, is to make new friends. If I make a new friend, or seem to in a stream, then I'm happy. And then even though I'm trying to make it as a full-time streamer, that's secondary. I'm having fun and I'm achieving my objectives. So that's what I would say. Think about why you're streaming, and then focus on the right reasons. Doesn't mean you shouldn't try and grow and shouldn't try and excel, but the likelihood is, this is probably maybe this is good as it's going to get for me, and that's fine, because I can walk away and go, brilliant, great, and I've made friends. I'm not going to walk away and go, well, I didn't make it, because I have made it 100 times over, 1,000 times over already. So
well, from a personal point of view, if I can ever be anywhere as is the word good or big, or I don't know what the word is, but if I can anywhere sort of get to your level, that's the word, I'll be pretty pleased myself. So I'll be quite proud of myself. So absolutely massive congratulations on what you're doing right now. You've obviously worked hard at it, so you've got a very likeable personality. So obviously that's why people keep coming back, don't they? I think you're just a genuine nice guy. Like every time I've jumped in, you've been like, oh, someone give Chris a shout out for me, please. I'm like, no, you don't have to. I didn't come here for a shout out, but it's just something you think to do yourself. So that's awesome.
But it's that thing about, I meet people, I think they're my friends, and then I help my friends. And that's what I think is like the least I can do for a mate who's a streamer, is say, look, they're a streamer, go and watch them. And and I'm never worried about losing viewers, because I don't mind. If someone would rather go and watch someone else, then I want, if a mate is streaming at the same time as me and another mate would rather watch them, well, they're my mates and I want them to be happy. So it doesn't doesn't bother me in the slightest. But I want everyone to succeed and do really well and be huge, and everyone to watch them. And there's not enough viewers for everybody, but
there's not.
I wish there was.
We have one more from the chat. It's from Wiry Lloydie once again. Have you ever fallen out with another streamer?
I don't think so. I've never had an actual argument or a disagreement. I mean, there's been people where maybe we've got on pretty well, but then over time we sort of, maybe we used to watch a lot of each other, but then over time we haven't so much, and we sort of had a bit of a friendship that's cooled a bit, but that's less probably to do with, and that's not really falling out. That's just probably we've gone different directions, doing different things, different games. I don't know if there's anyone that doesn't like me, but I've certainly not fallen out with anyone. I mean, in terms of people that I'm close to, certainly not really. There's been bigger streamers where they've had views that I've disagreed with, and that's put me off watching them, but they're not people that I knew. So I was going to say, I didn't think you'd have you wouldn't have had many disagreements with anyone, to be fair. You're too much of a likeable guy. But Super Dopey is asking,
have we asked him which two teas he is? So I don't know what he means by that. Is it, or brands maybe?
If I was two teas, one of them would probably be Earl Grey, and the other would probably be, I don't know. Probably a good English breakfast.
Nice.
You know, start my day with an English breakfast, and then I'd hit an Earl Grey.
Awesome, dude. Actually, that's one of my questions. Where's the name come from?
So I was at an event with some friends of ours, like a weekend, and they had the big catering stand, like a sort of a convention sort of thing. And we were staying there, and we got up in the morning, and it's before it's all opened, and we queued up for a breakfast. We had to queue up for 40 minutes to get a breakfast, and we all went and sat down, and we had our full English and a cup of tea or a coffee or Coke or whatever we had. And I had 2 cups of tea, and my mate Will goes to me, he goes, "Why have you got 2 cups of tea? Who's the other one for?" And I said, "They're for me." And he goes, "Why have you bought 2 cups of tea?" And I said, "You've got 1 cup of coffee there. You're going to want another cup, aren't you?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm like parched." I said, "You're going to queue for 40 minutes again?" And he was like, "Wow, I never thought of that. I just really hadn't planned out like my coffee." And he goes, "From now on, I'm going to call you RichieTwoTeas." He was a Cockney lad, you see, so it's very much that kind of lock, stock, and two smoking barrels sort of nickname. And I've never had nicknames that have stuck, and that one stuck.
That's awesome. That's a great
one of those
story.
people like. Yeah, some people like they can do something stupid every week and they got 30 nicknames and they all stick. For me, nothing did. And so when I started streaming, I just made sense for a name. None of the other names I'd had online were any good, really. So
it's a very unique name, I think. So when I first time I heard about you, I was like, RichieTwoTeas, what's that a name? Where's that come from? But now I know, and I'm glad I know, to be fair. So if it was me, I'd be called Chris 4 Beers, because when I'm on holiday, you go to the bar and it's a huge queue and one barman. I normally get myself 4 beers and then sit at my table, drink them, and go back up and get another 4. So I'd be called Chris 4 Beers. But
exactly, I'd be exactly the same. But yeah, I start every day, and I do sort of say that I don't feel human until I've had 2 cups of tea in the morning. That's like, it's a 2 tea minimum before I can operate and deal with the world.
Yeah.
That is my minimum caffeine intake. Quite often I need a lot more, but yeah.
Super Dopey wants to know, do you do any musical streams or mostly games?
No, it's pretty much all games with occasional bit of just chatting. I don't do a lot of music these days. When I do music, I like to write. I like to do original stuff, and that's always what I've done. But I like to work. I need someone to bounce off of.
Yeah.
When I'm doing music, because I'm okay at playing, and I've been playing a long time. I've played in a lot of bands in the past, but I need someone that's on the same page as me because I want to write music with them. So if I don't have someone and I can't find someone where we're working for the same thing, the amount of times I've been in a band and I'm like, I've got people like, this is what I want to do. And I'm usually like a driving force. And I'm like, right, I want to do like an angry punk band. I can't sing but I'm going to sing and I'm just going to scream. I'm going to shout about everything that like makes me angry. And then like, everyone's, I'm not sure we want to do that. I'm like, look, this is the band. I was very clear. I'm starting this band because this is what I want to do. And then no one's there. But yeah, I mean, it's not like I want to rule a band and everyone's, but yeah, I want someone where we're sat down and we're like, yeah, this is what we want to do. Let's go and do it. And we're probably writing at least 2 of us together. So I've not had someone like that for a long time. Partly, I guess, because I'm getting older. Yeah, and a lot of my friends are getting a bit older and they don't have that same, I mean, obviously I've got the same rebellion and the same fire that I had when I was, 18. Yeah. I mean, I might not have the energy, but yeah, it's something I've thought about for the future, possibly.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit of setting up and stuff to do. So
yeah, it is. It's all
it's on my mind for if stream continues to be like a long-term thing that I would definitely like to do.
Well, I'd fully back that, mate. I'd fully be behind that. I'd watch it all day long. Honestly, I just love guitars, guitar riffs, everything. I love that. So, talking of writing, Richie, I don't know if all of you know this in the chat or anyone viewing on YouTube, but Richie does actually have an option for his viewers to use their channel points to, for you to read out a poem or write a new poem?
I read a poem of my choice. Yeah. So sometimes that'll be one of my poems.
Yeah.
I used to write a lot. In the early days of the internet, under a pseudonym, I was quite a famous, like, kind of goth poet.
Okay, that's awesome.
But you know, some of that's a bit young and embarrassing. But I still write stuff occasionally, but I don't anywhere near as much. So I started doing it on stream to try and encourage me to write more poetry.
Okay.
So like, I was like, right, I want to try and write at least, you know, one poem a week that will be my own. But so I read poems of friends, or poems that I love, some classic, some modern, so just a variety of stuff. So yeah, something that usually takes my mood. So
yeah. Do you have any at hand now that you'd like to maybe read out for people, or isn't it no pressure?
Yeah, so I've chosen one which was actually by my dad.
Okay.
And this is a poem that when I was younger made me really want to write poems.
Okay.
So he wrote this about he used to be a teacher, and he used to take like classes away once a year camping.
Okay.
Because the area where he taught, it was an inner city, quite poor area, and the kids didn't go on holiday, and they certainly didn't really go out a lot to the country. So he wanted to take the kids out so they could see the green fields and the trees. And there was a campsite that he used to go to. It's a scout campsite, and it's one that I used to go to a lot with when I was in scouts. So it's about a place that I loved, and then the themes. It's about well, I'll read the poem and then I'll say what it is that I found so evocative.
Awesome.
Okay, so
go for it.
The poem is called Faisal's Wood. The May blossom is bright across my favourite field. The last rays of evening sun cast deep shadows from the tall oaks. Each year, for an all too brief moment, the scene comes to me, and then I wonder why I ever went away. All of life's mysteries rolled out in the newly mown grass, submerged in a late evening chorus of birdsong and breeze, catching moments that can't be held captive, regret and the passage of time, ever recurring themes. So that was 1995. So I'd have been about 18.
Yeah.
What I liked about it is it's that last passage, which is regret and the passage of time, where all these places you want to go and you have great memories, and then you look back at them and you regret that you're not, that so much time has passed, that you've not been back to somewhere that you love,
yeah,
or you've not done something you wanted to. And the poems that I write, they tend to come more from a place of either hurt or regret, or but I'm the king of the goths, so it's it's probably to be expected. But it's that kind of reflection,
yeah,
and probably maybe somewhat on our mortality and everything. And I found that really inspirational, because I wanted to capture the way that I felt about a lot of things. And when I was 18, I felt strongly about a lot of stuff. Probably now I'm older, I'm like a bit more
yeah,
everything's terrible, what can you do? So maybe that's why it's harder to write. But
I think the way you read that out actually was shows that that little poem there obviously means quite a lot to you. I think that's the sort of vibe I got from that one. So obviously you said your dad he was a teacher and he used to take kids, so maybe underprivileged kids, if you like, on these trips, so that shows that the kindness has been passed down the generation, I think, there. So that's fucking fantastic to hear, to be fair, mate. I like that. I'm all for that sort of stuff,
mate.
I'm not a big poetry guy myself. I don't really know too much about, obviously I know what words are and what things mean and things.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll hear a sentence in a poem and it can mean like 3 or 4 different things, so I sometimes don't get every part of a poem, but I sort of understood that one from your dad's point of view.
See, with poems, I don't necessarily, obviously there's a meaning behind what's happening usually, but I don't worry too much about, I just take what I want from it. And I suppose that comes a lot from like song lyrics, because you've got no idea. And song lyrics, probably in terms of like, quality of writing aren't that great, but that's very much comes down to emotion. You hear that line, you're 15, you're lying there on your bed, well, you might be with an LP now, with your cassette or your CD, or your Spotify, but you hear stuff and it like just that one line, it just gets through to you, even if it's the context is completely different. But a lot of time you don't know what a song's about.
No,
I mean, certainly when I was younger, you have no internet to go and look it up what it might be about. It was all what you thought it could be about.
Yeah.
And I do the same really with poems. There's often a certain amount of it's quite obvious what it's about. If it's talking about, you know, that you're having a walk around Salisbury, you can probably guess it's about a trip someone had to Salisbury. But, you know, when they're talking about something that they see in the magnificence of the cathedral, I'm not necessarily thinking about what they're thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the similar things for myself, and then maybe it resonates my own memories, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think so. Songs, poems, anything sort of written, I think only the author or the artist knows what that truly means. I don't think.
Yeah.
Like, you can take any song, unless it's one of them silly songs about like £1 fish and all that, you know, them sort of quick buck sort of songs, you know. But any sort of meaningful and well thought out songs, you don't really. I don't think you'll ever sort of know exactly what that means word for word, but you do like take your own. Like I've a Green Day song, "Wake Me Up When September Ends." That is obviously a lot about war.
Yeah.
There's a couple of lines in there which sit in my heart because it says things about his dad and how many years. So they sort of tangle up with me and my dad. They sort of make sense to me. They wouldn't make sense to anyone else maybe, but to me they make total sense. Like, so, you know, that's a huge song that I take a lot from myself. So you're absolutely spot on what you say about that. But what we're gonna do now, Richie, is I got one more question for you before we wrap this whole thing up. We're also sorry for the technical difficulties. That was an absolute nightmare. But are there any games due out soon? So as a streamer now, sorry, complete flip of the switch there. But are there any games due out soon that you're excited about to play or stream?
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to Ghost of Tsushima, which is out. Is it tomorrow, Friday? It's this week, isn't it? It's out, I think.
I have no idea.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure because I'm not going to play it immediately. I'll give it a few weeks before I play it.
Yeah.
Because it just looks amazing. And later this year, I cannot wait to get a hold of Cyberpunk 2077 because I'm a huge fan of everything Cyberpunk, and I always have been. So, I'm trying to think what else is due out this year. I've kind of lose track. So much stuff's been pushed back and cancelled as well.
Yeah,
they're the two main games, and then looking further ahead, like to whenever that will be, Elden Ring.
Okay.
You know, as someone who streams from soft games, that's the game. Also, it won't be this year. It's probably going to be next year. But like Demon Souls remake.
That's
so
awesome. That's
awesome. That's my sort of current future.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to checking them out because a lot of the time, for myself, I don't know if anybody else is the same, a lot of the time I'll sort of pick up interest in a game and possibly go and buy it myself from watching streams on it. So I've been watching you play Dark Souls. I'd probably go and have a look at that now. I wouldn't have before, but watching you play it, it's like I look at it, I'm like, do you know what? This actually looks like quite a good game to play, like a good grindy game. So I'd always
wanted to play and complete one Dark Souls game, and then Bloodborne came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you know what? This seems like the right. Obviously, early gen, there wasn't that huge amount of releases.
Yeah.
So I was picking up almost everything that came along. So Bloodborne came along, and it was Bloodborne, and I thought, right, this is the FromSoft game. Even if I don't like it, I'm gonna finish one game.
Yeah.
And I did, and I loved it. I got it. Like I'd finished the first area. I've been playing for 20 minutes, half an hour, lost, no idea, no healing left, terrified. And then I found a shortcut back, to the beginning. So it had all been worth it. And that moment was like, brilliant.
Yeah, that's it.
Just a quick answer for Super Dopey.
Yeah,
for
go
what's
ahead.
My favourite band currently. Currently, after like last album, which was out fairly recently and has been a favourite band for many, many years, The Birthday Massacre, who are a Canadian sort of, I suppose sort of, I mean, they got kind of a goth alternative, dark, punky, synthy feel to them. But yeah, like I love them.
Yeah, I'm all over that sort of
They are the band that I would like to have had like 20 years ago when I was doing a lot of music. That's who I wanted to be and didn't realise it at the time.
Yeah. It's a shame you can't sort of get in a time travelling capsule of some kind and just go back with that knowledge and just pump that out there, isn't it? I feel like that all the time about certain things, man.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Right, okay, actually I lied, I got one more question for you, and this is
Okay.
The biggest question of the night, okay? So, where can people find you on social media?
So I am RichieTwoTeas everywhere. So Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Just search RichieTwoTeas anywhere and you'll find me, or / RichieTwoTeas, so twitter.com/Richie, etc.
Yeah.
I'm the same on all gaming platforms as well. So if you want to add me as a friend anywhere, and then exactly the same, obviously, on Twitter too. So yeah.
So that's
the one place that I wasn't
right
for the longest time was PSN, and then Sony let you change your names on PlayStation, and now I'm Richie everywhere.
So what was it on Sony, on PSN before?
I was Bit of a Drizzle, which was a role-playing character but it's one of those things years ago. It's like I just wanted a name you could always use on every single site.
Yeah.
Before it was more email addresses, so that was just what I used. It was a role-play character that I could use the name absolutely every forum, every website.
Well, it's,
and then you get stuck with it.
It's a very, like I said, it's a very memorable name, It's like, and also I'd imagine it pretty much fits in most, some websites you can only have like 8 or 10 characters. It's going to fit everywhere. I think yours is now.
Yeah.
Because they seem to sort of allow you to have longer names now, I think, don't they? So anyway, you sign up to, you're going to fit in quite nicely, I think, with the name. So, but Richie, honestly, thank you so much for being an awesome guest. I do apologise for the technical difficulties. I will do my best to edit that together and get rid of that sort of middle bit because that sucked.
Thank you for inviting me to come on. I was really hoping you're going to ask me because I'd watched the first couple and was really excited that I might come on sometime.
You've been very sought after. I've had I think I can probably count without looking, about a good 10-12 people have been in my inbox, sort of like, you got to get Richie on your podcast. You got to get him on there. He's a fucking great guy. Get him on. So,
I came on. I'm like, I'll try not to talk for too long on each question because this is something that I do. I can talk forever, and I'm like, I'll try to say something and then stop.
No,
so we won't be here
honestly,
forever.
That's all good. You can literally. This is all about you. The whole point of this is about you, so you can put your story out there, promote yourself, so anybody new that comes across this video, they can be like, I like this guy. I'm gonna go and check him out. So hopefully this helps you. If this helps you pick up even one new follower, then
I'm sure it will. Thanks,
mate.
I've
done my job, hopefully. So, thank you so much yet again for taking part. Don't forget, guys, he is RichieTwoTeas everywhere. So make sure you go and follow him everywhere right now. But anyway, I've been Chris. This awesome gent over here has been Richie, and we'll catch you on Saturday. Cheers, guys. Take care.